Chapter 1640 Reinforcements from All Sides. Zhang Yi looked at Li Jian and said calmly, "This plant is very special. It is my important weapon. Next, Tianhai City will face an extremely difficult war. As the guardian of Tianhai City, I need a stronger force to protect everyone." Li Jian. Zhang Yi stared at Li Jian with a firm look. "Are you willing to join me in protecting Tianhai City? Protect everything we have worked hard for in the past 3 years." Li Jian did not choose, because when Zhang Yi made the decision, he just came to inform him. However, as a qualified leader, he also needs to consider the emotions of his subordinates when giving orders. Especially for this kind of thing that requires risking his life. If Li Jian's heart collapses, even if he reluctantly takes this job, it will reduce his work efficiency. Sure enough, after listening to Zhang Yi's words, Li Jian also understood the importance of the situation. He nodded vigorously. "Sir, you gave me this life. If you hadn't taken me and my husband in, we would have died in the ice and snow. What's more, you are here to protect the safety of the entire Tianhai City. Even if I die, I will do this beautifully." Zhang Yi smiled slightly, very satisfied with Li Jian's statement. "Don't worry, I will give you the maximum security. And you, your wife Zhang Jianfang, and your newborn daughter Li Beibei will have the same living standards as the head of the base in the future. If you have any accidents, I will protect them for life." Li Jian and Zhang Jianfang are both in their 40s. They once had a son, but unfortunately, the son died during the Baixuejia War. But people always have to look forward. Last year, they gave birth to another daughter in the base and named her Li Beibei. The couple doted on this old girl, and she could be said to be the apple of Li Jian's eye. Zhang Yi's actions completely solved Li Jian's worries, and the last little worry in Li Jian's heart also disappeared completely. "Thank you, Your Excellency," Li Jian said from the bottom of his heart. Zhang Yi took Li Jian back to the shelter, and then arranged a medical room for him to cultivate the sword in the tree. The sword in the tree is now a plant, and has almost abandoned all human attributes. So Zhang Yi believes that with the help of Li Jian's ability, the growth of the sword in the tree can be accelerated, allowing it to quickly absorb the divine substance of the source of God and complete the evolution of the life level. At that time, Zhang Yi's strength can be raised to another level. Everything is planned. After Li Jian came back, Zhou Ke began to take charge of the next things. Li Jian's ability is devotion, which can use his own flesh and blood and superpowers to accelerate the growth of plants and improve their quality. So the consumption of him is very huge. Therefore, Zhou Ke also prepared a large amount of nutrient solution and medicine to avoid accidents during the cultivation process. For this reason, she specially asked Lu Ke to build a transparent biological warehouse for Li Jian. After Li Jian came here, he saw everything that was prepared and naturally understood in his heart that he was just a part of the plan. However, he was very sensible, so he naturally did not have any reluctance. Instead, he calmly changed his clothes and lay down in the nutrition chamber under Zhou Ke's guidance. Next, he would use a pipe to connect to his body and inject nutrient solution and life-sustaining drugs. Zhang Yi watched all this, and the sword in the tree in his right hand disintegrated from the form of a bracelet, turned into a group of green plants, and then jumped directly into the nutrient solution. Like a leech, it drilled into Li Jian's body from his arm. Zhang Yi felt pain just watching it. To be honest, if it was not for the emergency, he would not have the heart to do it. However, Li Jian had long been accustomed to this kind of thing, so he just closed his eyes peacefully. Zhang Yi stretched out his hand, picked up Hua from the ground next to him, pointed at the nutrition chamber, and carefully warned it. "Hua, you have to stay here for the next few days, and you are not allowed to go anywhere. Watch it carefully. Prevent any accidents. This matter is very important to us, understand?" After that, Zhang Yi directly opened the different space and piled up the dried fish into a small mountain for it. Hua opened her mouth and yawned, and said leisurely, "Meow, I know. It's just a small matter." Zhang Yi left with peace of mind. "I hope that before the next war comes, the sword in the tree can complete its evolution." However, no one knows when that day will come. Zhang Yi left the basement and came to the living room. Yang Xie came over gently and handed him a cup of hot coffee. Zhang Yi, you look a little tired recently. Do you want to have a good rest? I recently learned ear cleaning, which is very effective in relieving mental stress. Zhang Yi's eyes lit up and blinked at her. Let's talk about it in the evening. Yang Xie smiled with her hands covering her mouth. I know. Then don't forget to come to my room tonight. Zhang Yi took the coffee and went to find Yang Xinxin. He wanted to talk to Yang Xinxin about the Tong organization, although the other party expressed goodwill to him and sent him a big gift. But Zhang Yi deeply understood a truth. If you are too attentive without any reason, you are either a traitor or a thief. Well, it doesn't sound good to say that, but it's always good to be cautious. At least you have to find out whether the other party has any plans for him. Zhang Yi came to the control center. Yang Xinxin was on the battlefield. The commander-in-chief is in charge of communicating with the representatives of the 6 regions to discuss the details of the battle. It was another complicated and lengthy meeting, because there are too many forces involved, and it is also necessary to see the reaction of the international community and judge whether there are external reinforcements. So there is no way to discuss a proper battle plan in a short time. But at the moment, the most important point is to gather troops. They have a great advantage in fighting on their own land, and the biggest gap between them and the Wugu troops is actually the high-level aliens. This time alone, including the troop that attacked the Columbia Naval Fleet, Wugu dispatched as many as 11 Ypsilon-class aliens. As for the captain-level aliens, they are just elite soldiers there, and 700 or 800 were dispatched at one time. This is an absolute strength-crushing. Even in a head-on confrontation, if there is no geographical advantage, Huashu country will not have the upper hand. So this time, they really need help from the outside world. But when Zhang Yi came to the control center, he got good news. Meng Yuanjun gave the answer they got from asking for help from outside. We have sent out letters for help to more than 20 countries, regions, or special organizations, and have received responses from 11 of them. Except for some small countries around us, they can only send a small number of alien troops to support us symbolically. The only ones who can really provide us with assistance are Colombia and Fremons. Chapter 1642, Sharing Weapon Technology. Colombia and Fremons are 2 of the top 10 countries in the world. Of course, among the top 10 organizations, Neon is now in name only. However, the strength of these 2 countries is close to that of Huashu. At least it can be ranked in the top 5 in the world. With the support of their alien troops, it is even more effective than the support of dozens of small and medium-sized countries. Zhang Yi asked, what about other countries? For example, those old powers in Europe. As for Barada, Zhang Yi was too lazy to ask. Barada borders Huashu, and everything is contradictory. Barada regards Huashu as a competitor and has been secretly making trouble. For example, in the southwest region, they actually sent people here with bad intentions. So Zhang Yi doesn't have much good feelings for this country, and it is even more impossible to expect them to send people to help. But according to his understanding, those countries in Western Europe also have very good strength. For example, the former world's #1 power, Britannia. He had fought with the Knights of the Circle and knew that they were very strong. If those guys could come, well, forget it. Zhang Yi thought of his sword in the tree again. If King Arthur really came, it would be a good thing that he didn't fight him to death. Meng Yuanjun said, at present, all regions in the world are not peaceful. You know, we are not the only ones facing various survival problems. Western Europe cannot fight across half of the planet. Even if they send aliens, they will be at most below the captain level. It doesn't make much sense, so it can be ignored. Han Shanzhua frowned and said, only Colombia and Fremons? How many people can they send? Meng Yuanjun glanced at the information in his hand and said slowly, Fremon sent the top alien, Thunder God Perron, from the Palace of the Gods. And Colombia, the one who went to the Asia-Pacific region to be in charge of related matters, is Newton from the Natural Science Association. Newtons. This name can be said to be too familiar to everyone, but it just feels a little funny. Because in today's society, it is customary to name the official code names of aliens after characters in mythology. In this way, on the one hand, it can be clear which country or region the aliens come from. On the other hand, compared with the complicated names of various countries, mythological characters are easier to remember. And it is the first time to hear of using the names of historical figures as code names. Yang Xinxin explained to Zhang Yi softly, because the history of Colombia is very short, and they can't use Indian mythology as their own traditional mythology. When Zhang Yi thought of this, he couldn't help but think of Lord of the Sea, Cartiers, and the runner, Canero. Indeed, if the Epsilon-level aliens continue to quote myths from other civilizations, they will look out of place. And using the predecessors of the scientific school as code names can just show their spirit of respecting science. Zhang Yi shrugged, but Newton doesn't seem to be a Colombian either. Yang Xinxin smiled, and her eyes curved into crescents. If you really want to be so fussy, as an immigrant country, they probably have nothing to name it. Zhang Yi was just joking. In fact, everyone could only use this incident as a joke to Colombia. But they had to admit that they did have the top strength on this planet, and they were also one of the few who could compete with Huashu country. Zhang Yi asked, Meng Shuai, what are the strengths of the thunder god Perron and Newton you mentioned? Meng Yuanjun looked at the information in his hand and replied with a smile, these two, according to official intelligence, are both black chariot-level aliens. The faces of the representatives of the 6 regions all became much more relaxed. At this time, it would be useless to have more low-level combat power. What they lacked was high-level combat power. Although each of the 2 countries only sent 1 Epsilon this time, they were definitely outstanding among their aliens. This is no wonder. If you send a weak one, there is a great probability that he will die in battle. Fighting against underground civilization is not a joke. Li Changgong rubbed his chin and said in a deep voice, if 2 black chariots can lead the team to participate in the battle, our chances of winning will be greatly increased. However, if the gatekeeper of the underworld also appears, how should we deal with it? He spread his hands and looked at Meng Yuanjun, Li Guangxiao and Zhang Yi with burning eyes. Xinjiang District and Donghai District both have the most advanced space-based weapon technology in Huashu country. Even Tianhai City has mastered powerful land-based Tianwei weapons. Now the war is urgent, and the enemy may attack any district at any time. So, I think you should open up your weapons technology and share it with us. Zhang Yi's heart moved. He heard about the Tianwei weapons used by the Donghai district in that battle. Weapons were launched from space, using military satellites to directly hit the enemy. Even facing the black chariot-level Wugu Yinjia general, it can cause excellent lethality. That kind of weapon, whether it is suddenness or the speed of falling from the sky, exceeds the Tianhai cannon. He is also very interested. Obviously, Xinjiang and Donghai regions, which have the strongest military power, kept it to themselves. Meng Yuanjun smiled and said readily, I can share the technology of space-based weapons with you. But it is very expensive and time-consuming to build that kind of military satellite. It will not be useful in the short term. Li Changgong said, that is a problem we need to deal with ourselves. Meng Shuai, our biggest trouble right now, and the trouble for a long time to come, should be external enemies. Don't be so secretive. Meng Yuanju nodded. That's easy to say. I will have someone send you the design drawings right away. When facing major issues, Meng Yuanjun did not hide anything at all, and this was also because what Li Changgong said made sense. If other regions were destroyed, Xinjiang region, as the center of Huaxi state, would not have a good time either. Brother regions are interdependent, and mutual help is the kingly way. Zhang Yi spread his hands and said, I can also give you the drawings of weapons like those in Tianhai City. Zhang Yi was so generous that everyone was surprised. After all, according to their understanding of Zhang Yi, this person would lose money if he didn't pick up money when he went out. Li Changgong nodded and said, this time, you finally understand the situation. Zhang Yi smiled faintly. I have always put the overall situation first. As long as you are willing to use it, just take it. Of course, he was generous enough. Because although the Tianhai cannon is complicated, it is still a certain distance away from the space-based weapons launched by military satellites. The most important thing is that its launch requires a large amount of yuan-shi as a basis. But now, the largest yuan-shi vein in the entire Huashu kingdom is in his hands. Even if other regions get it, it is very troublesome to use it. On the other hand, all the weapons, other mechanical products, or fortresses built by Lu Karen will be continuously transformed as her abilities improve. The drawings that Zhang Yi gave out now will lag behind the technology that Lu Karen mastered at that time, in a few months. Chapter 1643 Initiation Ceremony. The problem of weapons was easy to solve, but Zhang Yi raised a new question at this time. It is easy to dodge an open attack, but it is difficult to guard against an arrow from the dark. When an undercover appeared in Tianhai City before, I reminded you to be careful about this matter. This time, the major districts were attacked. The enemy is obviously from the underground civilization, but they directly attacked the capitals of the major districts. Even from the posture of their attack, they know our intelligence very well. Have you ever considered that there are undercovers from the Fog Valley within your respective territories? As soon as these words came out, the faces of everyone at the scene became heavy. They really hadn't thought about this problem, because instinctively they have always regarded themselves as higher creatures. Even when facing the existence of the underground world, they think they are inferior creatures. What's more, they can't imagine disguising themselves as humans and lurking in the major districts to spy on intelligence. Not to mention them, even Zhang Yi couldn't imagine it before he found Wan Ping. That kind of creature, which is 2 or 3 times bigger than a human, can actually disguise itself as a human, and it is also very lifelike. Zhang Yi said, "Of course, this is just a guess. After all, as you said before, even if we want to target them, it is our Jiangnan district and Donghai district that have direct links with Fog Valley. But what if?" Meng Yuanjun said immediately, "I will immediately send people to investigate the entire Xinjiang district. Whether they are human or whether they are Huashu people can be done by just taking a blood test. Genetic technology is now very advanced." Han Shanzhou frowned. "But what if there are humans working for them? What should we do?" Meng Yuanjun sighed. "If that's the case, it will be very difficult to deal with. There is always a loophole, and they can't do a carpet-style investigation of the entire country. They can only avoid the foreigners from Fog Valley lurking in Huashu country to the greatest extent. Even those refugees scattered outside cannot be investigated." Zhang Yi said, "I can guarantee that there are no suspicious people in Tianhai City. As for other places, you can do it yourselves. Everyone in Tianhai City must undergo an extremely strict background check. Moreover, the people in key positions must be personally inspected by Yang Xinxin to ensure that no one will pose a threat in the next war." After that, he said to Zhu Zheng, "Zhu Shuai, we'll excuse ourselves for a moment. You are responsible for discussing other matters." Zhu Zheng heard this and nodded. "Don't worry, I'm here." Zhang Yi gave Yang Xinxin a look, and Yang Xinxin understood, and closed the video conference. Zhang Yi told him about the Tong organization sending people to find him. "Xinxin, what do you think about this matter? Tong organization, is it?" Yang Xinxin lowered his eyes. His expression was obviously very serious. "I know a little about that organization. It has a long history, even dating back to before the Christian era. It is said that its history is as long as that of the origin sect of the Junjing Church. Brother, you have to be careful of this organization. They are very dangerous and powerful." Zhang Yi nodded. "I understand. How can an organization that can casually give away the source of God be not strong? At the very least, it has the strength of a country." Yang Xinxin said, "They gave you the source of God only because Huashu country is the main battlefield facing the underground civilization next. This is the first large-scale anti-invasion war between humans and underground civilizations on the planet. They gave you the source of God just to use you as a chess piece." At this point, she smiled slightly. "Of course, this also proves that they are observing you and hope to win you over to join their organization." Yang Xinxin said here, and revealed something to Zhang Yi. Before the end of the world, the Tong organization had also extended an olive branch to her, but she later rejected it. Zhang Yi was not surprised at all. With Yang Xinxin's wisdom, She can easily achieve great success in many fields. Why did you reject them? Yang Xinxin said, the Tong organization has a strict hierarchy. Even if I join, I will only be at the grassroots level. Besides, I can't see its true appearance clearly, so I dare not join rashly. What's more, I have heard of their initiation ceremony, which is a way I can't accept. Zhang Yi became curious. Initiation ceremony? Yang Xinxin's mouth curled up like a little devil, smiling very evilly. Brother, what do you think an organization like this that brings together a large number of elites from all over the world wants to do to maintain the loyalty of its members and avoid the leakage of secrets? Zhang Yi thought for a moment and said, the Pledge of Allegiance. Only when everyone has done evil things together and then has a handle in each other's hands can they win each other's trust. So I guess that the initiation ceremony is to do something evil that cannot be accepted by the world. Right? For example, killing a person. Yang Xinxin said, there is indeed such a saying. If there are other ways to replace it, especially for female members. Zhang Yi finally understood the meaning of Yang Xinxin's smile. You mean sex? In social relationships, people want to integrate into a certain interest group or show loyalty to their superiors. Men usually do it by taking the blame or doing something that cannot be exposed. The simplest and most direct way for women is through sex. Although the loyalty of this behavior may not be the highest, it has always been the most acceptable. They always hope to achieve the goal of controlling their subordinates in some way. Yang Xinxin said leisurely, my introducer once told me about the initiation ceremony. New members must wear cloaks and masks. Of course, they must wear nothing under the cloak. Then enter the venue of the ceremony and have in-depth exchanges with internal members. And at this time, take off the masks and confirm the identity of each other. In this way, a ceremony similar to the initiation of the name is completed. Yang Xinxin puffed up his face. Of course I refused. Who would accept such an excessive initiation requirement? It is simply hateful and shameful. Zhang Yi was also enlightened after listening to it. It is indeed a Western organization which is really open. However, Western developed countries have always been more open about sex. Zhang Yi imagined the scene and suddenly thought that if Fatty Su knew about such a good thing, he probably would not refuse it. Chapter 1644. Picking up someone. Yang Xinxin reminded Zhang Yi, be very careful with that group of people. They are powerful, but also very dangerous. It is said that they believe in Satan. Zhang Yi couldn't help but widen his eyes when he heard this. Believe in Satan? What is this? It's really weird. Satan is a demon in the myths and legends of monotheism, the king of hell. In the impression of ordinary people, it is the most evil and terrifying existence. But the people of the Tong organization actually believe in such an existence? The more you listen, the more weird it feels. Yang Xinxin smiled slightly. What's the big deal? The difference between gods and demons is sometimes just a thought. No one can tell which side can represent justice. Brother, do you remember a concept we once proposed? If the myths and legends are true, the gods in those legends are humans with extraordinary powers in ancient times, or some other creatures. Then, why can't demons be the losers in the war of gods? Zhang Yi felt that this question was a bit complicated, and the most important thing was that he was not very interested. He never cared much about things that had nothing to do with his personal interests. I understand. Anyway, from now on, I will keep enough distance from that organization. Although they gave me a portion of the source of God, I didn't ask them for it, but they gave it to me voluntarily. So if they want to ask me to do something in this name, I won't pay attention to them. Zhang Yi is a bachelor, so he doesn't have any ideological burden. Yang Xinxin nodded with relief. That's right, this is my good brother. After a whole day, they finally discussed a more reliable battle plan. The first step is to let Zhang Yi take Tianjiexing Daixing to the whole country first and lay out the spatial coordinates of Star Cluster at various key nodes in the 6 major regions. The ability to teleport is a relatively common skill among space-related aliens. For example, Zhang Yi's space shuttle or Li Changgong's 6 realms without distance can achieve similar effects. It's just that Daishin can do it in a larger range, covering the entire Huashu kingdom and multiple important locations. Of course, it is impossible to lay out spatial coordinates all over the country. Therefore, the places chosen are all places that may be attacked. For example, the capitals of the 6 major regions, some important resource cities, and relatively densely populated areas. Xinjiang District directly contacted Zhang Yi and invited him to Xinjiang District. After all, Daisheng's spatial ability can only work after the coordinates are set. Before the ability is activated, he is not much stronger than ordinary people and needs Zhang Yi to take him to various places quickly. Zhang Yi did not refuse, but considering that he had conflicts with Xinjiang before, he was more careful this time and chose to take Huahua with him to Xinjiang. It didn't take him too long to reach the distance of thousands of kilometers. And he just stayed outside Xinjiang City and contacted Meng Yuanjun. The north wind was howling, the weather in the north was worse than in the south, and the temperature was colder. Outside the city, there was a silver-clad area, and in the middle of the huge snow-capped mountains, there was a black asphalt road like a long snake. Zhang Yi stood outside the city and looked up at Xinjiang City and said to Meng Yuanjun on the other end of the communicator, "I'm outside Xinjiang City. Let your people come out." There was silence on the other end of the communicator for a long time. This was the first time that Meng Yuanjun dealt with Zhang Yi. Although he had long heard that chaos in the Jiangnan region had cultivated the way of the go to the extreme, he was still stunned when he saw it with his own eyes. "No, buddy, it's time now, and allies are also on guard?" He didn't know that Zhang Yi's stability was only one aspect. On the other hand, Zhang Yi was too afraid of the ability of Ho Tu Guanlongyue. According to what Deng Shintong once mentioned, Ho Tu's ability is similar to a curse. Once a person's information fragments are collected, it can be killed. Even when facing a monster with a much higher ability index than her, this ability can also complete a leapfrog kill. Zhang Yi had to be on guard. Even if the two sides are at peace now, there is still no guarantee that there will be no conflicts in the future. The warning left by that attack to Zhang Yi was too terrible. He would not tolerate any possible threat to himself. "Okay, I'll let them come to see you right away." Zhang Yi was outside Xinjiang City, not even approaching the city gate, just quietly waiting for Daisheng to come. Not long after, the gate of Xinjiang City opened. The alloy door, which was even bigger and heavier than the one in Blizzard City, opened with a rumble. Facing the rising sun, a large group of people walked out of the city. It was an extraordinary team. The moment they appeared, they were like a group of divine soldiers walking down from the sky with dazzling brilliance. More than 30 people in a group were of different heights, weights, and sizes. There was no strict formation, but they wore the same dark blue combat uniforms. Their chests were decorated with silver stars. The alien troops of Xinjiang District, 36 heavenly gangs, were all present. And the one standing in front of the 36 heavenly gangs, the leader, was wearing a silver military coat, gold-rimmed glasses, a gentle smile on his face, and an aura that made people awe. The captain of the Longming Guard, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva Shang Dawen. Zhang Yi's eyes condensed, and his body subconsciously prepared for battle. Such a team is almost the most powerful elite in the entire Xinjiang region except for Ho Tu and Zhen Yuanzi. Zhang Yi thought they were coming for him, but soon he relaxed his tense nerves a little. As long as Ho Tu did not show up, even if Ten Shang Dawen were here, he could not be stopped. "Mr. Hundun, long time no see. How are you recently?" Shang Dawen came not far in front of Zhang Yi and greeted him with a very polite smile. "Fortunately, I eat well and sleep well, but I sometimes worry that my neck is being remembered by others," Zhang Yi said while rubbing his neck with his hand, and glanced at Shang Dawen with a strange look. Shang Dawen certainly knew that Zhang Yi was using the previous Ho Tu incident to point at him, but he did not take up the topic, just smiled faintly. Then he said, "You have worked so hard, protecting the border of Huashu State and guarding Tianhai City. If there were more heroes like you in the world, Huashu State would be safe even in the difficult Doomsday." He was very fluent in his polite words, but Zhang Yi didn't buy it. He smiled and said, I am here to pick someone up. Who is Sky Star Daisheng? He looked behind Shang Dawen and said, Are all the 36 Tiangang here? Is it necessary to mobilize so many troops? Chapter 1645. 36 celestial beings appear together. Shang Dawen smiled lightly and stretched out his hand behind him, and a middle-aged man stood out from the crowd. He looked very ordinary, the kind that you can't find in a crowd, but his skin was a little whiter. Hello, Lord Hundun. Zhang Yi nodded. Since you are here, follow me. Wait a minute, Lord Hundun. Shang Dawen stretched out his hand to stop Zhang Yi, who was eager to leave. I brought so many people with me, and I want to go with you this time. Zhang Yi frowned. The 36 heavenly gangs are going to go with me? Are you kidding? During the meeting, it was not said that these people all had space-related abilities. Shang Dawen said, In the next war, they will play a very important role. If. He pondered for a long time. His expression became a little more solemn. The gatekeeper of the underworld really appears. These people can play an unexpected role. So they must follow you and familiarize themselves with every possible battlefield. Zhang Yi was extremely surprised. The 36 people in front of him, although each of them is at the captain level, their strength is quite good among the aliens. But now Zhang Yi is already a black chariot level Epsilon alien, and he doesn't take the Delta level aliens too seriously. Except for special beings like Yang Xinxin, who have extremely rare superpowers, most combat-type Delta-level aliens can't pose a threat to Epsilon. Too many people? It's almost the same ending. Shang Dawen just smiled and said, You will know it by then. So, please do this favor. Zhang Yi didn't care. Anyway, he was only responsible for transportation this time, and it wouldn't take much effort to bring a few more people. In the crowd, a woman with long black hair and gentle eyes saw Zhang Yi, and a look of joy appeared in her eyes. She lowered her head secretly, and her heart couldn't help but jump up when she thought that she could go to Tianhai City with Zhang Yi and meet that man. Zhang Yi stretched out his hand and directly opened a huge dimensional door in the air. Then he said to the group of people, Follow my footsteps. After that, he took the lead to step into the dimensional door. The 36 Tiangang immediately followed. The next moment they emerged from the dimensional door, and they were already 4 kilometers away. Zhang Yi continued to open the dimensional door and used the power of space to help them float in the air. After just a moment, they left Shengjing City. This extraordinary ability also opened the eyes of the 36 people. Then, Zhang Yi took the lead to lead them to Shuilong City in the Qinling Mountains, which is a very important strategic location. After arriving, Daisheng immediately raised his right hand, and a silver starlight appeared on his fingertips, moving in the air. The space was rippling because of the movement of his fingers, as if some mysterious talismans were engraved in the void. The whole process took less than 2 seconds, and Daisheng said to Zhang Yi, Mr. Chaos, it's over. Zhang Yi watched his operation throughout the whole process. As a space-based alien, he could clearly feel the changes in the space node. If he was not a space-based alien, he would not know what happened to that space node. But Zhang Yi could feel the coordinates there. Zhang Yi just said lightly, Well, let's go to the next one. After all, we need to lay more than 100 space coordinates all over the country. Zhang Yi opened the dimensional door again, and the next space node was in Weio Valley. Zhang Yi brought the 36 Tiangang throughout the whole process. Every time he arrived at a place, except for Daisheng, who engraved the space coordinates, the other aliens just observed everything around them, but did not do anything extra. Zhang Yi has been observing all of them, and he is more curious about what Shang Dawen said. Even if it is 36 captain-level aliens, can they really affect the aliens of the level of Gatekeeper of the Underworld? If it is an ordinary white chariot, they may still have the strength to fight. But thinking of the terrifying strength of the Gatekeeper of Hades, Zhang Yi still shook his head, thinking that this was impossible to do. At most, it could only provide some auxiliary functions during the battle. The large army moved forward all the way. With Zhang Yi, they performed their tasks with great efficiency. If they used airplanes to fly around the country, it would take several days to cover more than 100 places. But with Zhang Yi, everything could be done in less than a day. However, in a coal-rich city in the northwest region, a small accident occurred. Daisheng had just carved the space coordinates, but before they left far, Daisheng's face suddenly changed. My space coordinates disappeared. Zhang Yi turned around and glanced at him. Daisheng hurried forward to report, Sir Hundan, I'm sorry. The coordinates I just carved disappeared for some reason. Zhang Yi frowned. This matter is related to the future war, and we can't be careless. Daisheng's face turned pale. Although Zhang Yi's tone was not particularly harsh, facing such a person of this level, any dissatisfied look from Zhang Yi would make him feel uneasy. It's my fault. Can you give me another chance? Daisheng looked at Zhang Yi with a pleading face, fearing that he had wasted the opportunity. Zhang Yi was punished for taking too long. Zhang Yi said lightly, then go back. This time, don't make any more mistakes. Daisheng breathed a sigh of relief. Yes, I will do my job well this time. Zhang Yi turned back with the 36 heavenly gangs, but secretly said in his heart, I only need to use a more powerful spatial force to easily destroy the spatial coordinates. In this way, there is no need to worry about them doing something in the Jiangnan region. I am not stupid enough to leave a backdoor for others in my own home. As soon as this incident is over, I will destroy all the coordinates in Tianhai City. The person who destroyed the coordinates was naturally Zhang Yi. He just wanted to try whether he could do it and found it very easy. Daisheng completed the next task very smoothly without encountering any trouble. The last stop was Tianhai City. This is also one of the key targets, because according to the results of the meeting, Tianhai City will definitely be the focus of Wugu's attack. So Daisheng carefully left multiple coordinates here to prevent them from being destroyed by the enemy's space aliens. While the other Tian gang were busy observing the possible battlefield environment in the future, a slender figure walked towards Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi had already noticed that she was there, but because of her special status, it was not easy for him to go over and say hello. Now that she was coming, he couldn't pretend not to see her. Isn't this brother Li Yangyang? Long time no see.